Welcome to the Journey to Wellness podcast, sponsored by the Essential Wellness Society and Healing Wheel Holistic. I'm Melissa Stonehill-Kyam, and I will be your host. With over 40 years' experience in the health and fitness industry, I am ready to dive in to some of the most conflicting topics we have regards to health today. Let's go. Welcome to the Journey to Wellness podcast. I'm really excited to be here today with Sarah Grant, and we are podcasting from Treehouse Cafe. This is the most unique place. If you haven't been down here yet, it's off of Academy and Vickers in Colorado Springs, and it's a unique blend of eclectic cafe, herbalism, community wellness, wholeness, and really driven to bring the community together. I'm here in the beautiful community room with Sarah Grant, who is the owner of this cafe, and not only that, one of my favorite superheroes in life. As a single mother, she has become a master herbalist with a beautiful business in herbalism, started the Essential Wellness Society, a network of healthcare practitioners, wellness professionals, holistics, and others. And through her rolled up sleeves and the sweat of her brow, has opened up Treehouse Cafe.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be here with you. It's like this has been months and months of heart work as well as hard work.
Right.
And in the background of everything that you've been doing, you still have the Pikes Peak Herb Fest and the Letha Festival and all the other things you do, including waking up in the morning, brushing your daughter's teeth, getting her to school, and doing all those things. That's why I say you're my favorite kind of superhero. So to just narrow it down to one thing to chat about would be really impossible. But I think that for those that don't know you or those that think they know you but don't really know your whole story.
Right, there's a lot there.
I'm going to ask that question, how did you get here?
Okay, so holistic health, take me back to when I was 19. I wasn't menstruating, and I went to the doctor, and they said that I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so they wanted to put me on metformin, which was 9 pills a day, and birth control. And I said, okay, I'll do that. Went home. My mom said, get on those pills. It's what the doctor said. And I was just thinking, 9 pills a day for the rest of my life doesn't sound good. And so I started looking into what polycystic ovarian syndrome was, how we can deal with it naturally. And I did this protocol that I found in Africa. They were doing a study in a group for environmental PCOS. It was a huge group that had tons of PCOS found.
Really?
And so they...
Like as you said, environmental, so it was like a group of people within a certain geographic location that seemed to come down.
And they said, why is this polycystic ovarian syndrome showing up in this particular spot so heavily? And it was environmental toxins. So it was, the antimicrobial foam soap that can mess up with the endocrine system. And so he put all of these women on a protocol of juicing and herbalism.
Really?
And so I did that protocol, got my period, went back to the same doctor, and I was like, look what I did. And he was like, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, of course.
And I said, what is this? So then I ended up not doing it for 4 months, went back, did the protocol and didn't get my period during those 4 months. And then I did the protocol in 7 days, got my period again, went back to the same doctor, and I said, this is what I found. And he's like, it's just a coincidence. So I enrolled myself into a degree for complementary alternative medicine and started learning herbalism. And I graduated, I got pregnant, and was able to have a successful birth without hormones and
Nice.
metformin and all of those things.
Right.
So
Well, it's really interesting because many countries, their first go-to would be a homeopathic holistic approach. Germany's really known for this. People think Chinese medicine, so we know that that exists, and they wouldn't assume that other countries like Germany, India, is really the birthplace of homeopathics, which again a lot of people aren't aware of. But herbs in general have so much power, and unfortunately, they aren't a revenue stream for the pharmaceutical company,
right.
and therefore aren't well studied. When I was working on my complementary alternative health care practice degree, the herbalism part, I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. It was the hardest course, and the reason is because there's not enough research. So when I had to research an herb, they would give me a specific herb, let's say golden seal, and I would have to talk about the antiviral properties and antimicrobial properties of golden seal. I was really racking my brain to get peer-reviewed research, double-blind studies, and then I went down the rabbit hole a little further and realized that the reason it wasn't there is because of the costs that it takes to do these studies and publish them. And of course, there's certain herbs that are well studied, like turmeric, for instance, and now berberine, they're using instead of metformin for diabetes, which is super cool. But I love that you keyed in on women's issues, and as a young woman yourself, I mean, this was pre-child, and you were pretty young. How old were you?
19 at that time.
19.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you had this intuitive sense that there has to be a better answer.
Yeah, I did not want to take those for my lifetime. They didn't have answers. They really just wanted to, give me a prescription and send me on my way and
Right.
not deal with that. So,
Yeah, and I think that comes a lot from, I don't think it's a lack of desire on the medical community. I really do think that people go into medicine because they want to help people. But I think it's lack of education and lack of awareness.
right.
That you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know it. It's a complete blind spot. So with that grew this, I've seen you at festivals and this absolutely magnificent setup you have. Can't even count how many herbs that are there in the teas and
Right.
tinctures. And that just really blew up big.
So fast forward a little bit. I started a business called The Rooted Herbalist. I was big, fat, pregnant, ready to heal the world, ready just to jump out and say, I know herbalism. And when I was doing that and I was going around and networking and trying to get into my community, people didn't really understand herbalism, and I felt like I needed to create a space where I didn't always have to explain what herbalism was, more than just living in Colorado, more than just weed. And so for that, I started building my own group, which is turning into the Essential Wellness Society at that time. And I was looking for holistic practitioners that could collaborate with me and create wellness events that were for those that were looking for holistic health practitioners and alternative medicine.
Which really brings me to the networking group. So really what you did was you created the product, and now you realize in order to move the product, you had to create the community. Which is a beautiful entrepreneurial way of thinking, because so many people I know have a fabulous product. Whether it's crystal mats to really good water to drink, or many, many other things, healers, practitioners, but they don't know how to bring it to the community, and their businesses don't do well because they sit behind a desk waiting for the business to come. And that's very hard.
I think the biggest thing about starting a business is know your community and show up for your community, show face, go and have those events, go and put yourself out there, and then you can meet the community that's wanting to learn more about the holistic health. And so the Essential Wellness Society started in a bar.
Right.
We did Wellness Wednesdays at a local bar.
No pun intended. It wasn't like wellness, right?
No.
Okay.
And I had, doTERRA vendors, and I had chiropractors and acupuncturists and hypnotherapists, and really just put them all together in this bar. And that's when I started just trying to get people to come out and visit us and learn from us. And then I had my big event in 2017 where I had over 60 vendors, and it's always free to the community, so I never charge. It's if you can come and learn about holistic health, that's what I'm trying to build. And so we did a big event. We had a lot of people come, and it was just that light bulb went on. It's time to build this. And so now we have 3,000 holistic practitioners in our group.
Did you say 3,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was in over a course of 5 years.
Yeah.
3,000
Yep.
holistic
5 years.
holistic practitioners in your group.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we also have Teller County, which is Divide, Woodland Park area. And then we have Denver County, or Denver chapter. And then we're building a Pueblo chapter as well.
So this is really about Colorado, more, I guess we'd be considered more southern Colorado here. Colorado Springs, Teller County, which is Woodland Park, down into Pueblo, and then into Denver. And those of you that don't know Colorado Springs is the second largest city in Colorado, and we're pretty small. So we have a lot of small towns, and I think that you also have people in other areas of the world that have joined in through social media. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's really, really special. What I think is most important to look at is the empowerment that you chose to have as a solo parenting mother. So you have a lot of, we could say single mother, single dad, and then there's another spouse or parent in the picture, and it's very different than complete solo parenting. So you are a solo parent, and that takes a lot of work to begin with, but the drive that you have is, really you're a tiger, and you just keep moving forward. And this is intrinsic in your personality. Not everybody's a tiger, and there's nothing wrong with people that aren't. But if you are an entrepreneur and you choose to go into the entrepreneurial field, which so many people are, you need to latch on to that horse that's galloping really quickly, even if you can grab on the tail and just, keep moving forward, because chances are that you're going to advance yourself. Not everybody is cut out to do the one-stop shop and be the marketing leader and the people person. And it's really important to have these networking groups.
I think it's just that I've built this really awesome community, and raising my daughter Willow in the community. Everybody knows her, and it's a safe space. And
everybody knows Willow.
And I think that's what my drive is that I've created this just amazing community that allows me to talk about holistic health and talk about our issues and collaborate with them. I think that's really, really important, especially when running your own business.
Well, I want to add that what I think is important about Sarah, and, for me, I could be her mom. There's enough of an age difference here, but I look at her as quite an inspiration and leader, and look at her for her wisdom and learn from her. She has been knocked down, and she got up. She bought a building, and the city took it away under eminent domain. She had that building filled with practitioners, and they all flew away. Then there was a few people that stood by her side and said, "You're jumping in the mud, I'm going to get muddy too. What can I do? How could I help?" different feelings that you go through when you feel like you failed, and then you realize that there's no such thing as failing, that you're just growing.
Oh, yeah, definitely learned a lot. I had a wellness center, and it was based around the Essential Wellness Society. Beautiful space, 12 suites, community room. And 3 months after I had it and I bought the building and land, the city was like, no, we're going to take your land because we're putting a power plant there. So quickly pivot. And, there's always moving forward. So the next big thing is this little cafe that I've put together, and the Treehouse's mission is bringing community together one sip at a time. So it's having the tea, having the coffee, having the healthier alternative food, but also we have 30 vendors, 30 local small business that have wares that are displayed in our shelves, and we have authors that have written books, and this networking room is becoming more of a Skillshare space.
Yeah, I love that, and I love how you have homeschoolers using the space. I've already been in here a few times and seen there's meetings going on, different groups. I've met 2 published children's book authors within the last 2 weeks here. We have events after event after event that we're just really thinking outside the box, getting authors together, creators, writers, music makers, artisans. You have someone that tutors, I think, in math or science or history or something like that for kids. And you're creating this really great vibe of really comfortable place to connect. And I know that you're going to be successful here.
I think the biggest thing is that when you're in your business, you think, oh, I've got to get the food on the table. I've got to, sell these products. I've got to get these clients and this, that, and the other. But the truth is that you have to collaborate with your community. You have to pull in and see, okay, well, this woman is a midwife. I can teach her about sitz baths as an herbalist, or collaborating with different holistic practitioners, because I believe in PEMS, which is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So you got to hit all of those in order to heal. And so, I can only do these little things here and there, but when having a group like this, you're able to full circle, right?
Yeah, it's networking. And I know that when I lost my job in 2020, I had a really fabulous corporate nutrition job. I was pretty much at the top of my game in my position, and then 2020 hit and everything closed, and I was so non-essential. It's funny when somebody tells you you're not essential.
Right.
And you're in health and wellness, but you are not essential. So I was not essential, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm just going to go it on my own. Wow, it's really hard to go it on your own when the whole city's a ghost town. And then you and I connected, and I would say now I'm in the transformational travel business, doing holistic wellness retreats and events and all kinds of stuff, and we're co-producing festivals. But without you, I probably would have not met the people I needed to meet, and isn't beyond that, just the support of being able to have someone reframe the things that come out of our mouths as entrepreneurs. I came to you and I said, oh my God, I just sank my ship. And you were like, and you made me like suck that back up and say it in a different way. And you're there for people, and it just blows my mind how you can do everything that you do and still show up in the way that you do. And that's really super special. Recently, I spoke to somebody who's looking to get a commercial space. She's an esthetician, and she wants some shared spaces within the space. And she's asking me, she wants certain people in there, and she wants a nutritionist in there, et cetera. And I said, well, you got to talk to Sarah Grant. She knows, she's got her finger on the pulse. She knows everybody that wants part-time space, shared space, 50% space, full-time space. Like this database that you have going up in your head is pretty amazing. So about the Treehouse Cafe, if somebody wants to host an event here, tell us how we have to book that.
Yes.
What's the process and what do they get?
We've got a room that holds 15 with TV and AV, and it's becoming a Skillshare room, and it's $25 an hour.
That's the room we're in right now. This is like a boardroom.
So rental just looks like reaching out to me and asking if it's available. We have writers groups coming in. We have this amazing artist that's doing wabi-sabi art, which are the little dots.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that one. That looks so good.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to talk about your First Fridays.
First Friday Art Walk is just inviting family-friendly type crowd to come and check out the artwork that's on the walls. We have 4 local artists that will change out quarterly.
And
then
how do you go through that? Like if people want their artwork up on your wall, what do they have to
just
do?
contact me.
Just come on in.
Yeah.
Grab a coffee and bring your art. And
Great.
talk about the big space, because we've got all kinds of cool stuff going on in the big space.
Yeah, so the idea is vendor events or young entrepreneur events. We have live music happening every other Saturday. I have artists that want to just come sing and just set up, and so I'm inviting them in.
Cool.
So very artsy, very creative type space. But rentals for that would be in our downtimes, and you could rent out the whole space, or the rest of the space is really just used for enjoying a cup of coffee and doing some self-love and connecting.
And I love that it's a sober environment. It really speaks to me because that makes it family friendly and really embraces the feeling of realness. So I personally love that, and it's a place where people can come and just have a really good time and be themselves and be free to be themselves. Let's talk about some of the festivals you have coming up. I hope that this podcast gets out before the Pikes Peak Herb Fest, but if it doesn't, let's plug it anyway and talk about what you got coming up.
So the Pikes Peak Herb Fest is on its 20th annual. We do this event with all the herbalists that are local, and we sell our wares. We have presentations. We have live music. We have a seed swap, which is a lot of fun, brings in a lot of different people. Really just promoting growing your own food and learning about herbalism. And then we have the Litha Festival, which is June 16th in Old Colorado City, where we have live music, vendors. There's a quiet area for vendors when they're doing services like Reiki or massage or hypnotherapy or anything over there. What else do we have?
Well, I loved the vendors that came out last year. They were so excited and so happy, and they're alchemists. They're into all kinds of alchemy and creations with crystals and fabrics and potions and lotions and jewelry and tarot cards, and there needs to be a place for that as well. We need to celebrate the magic in the world, and this happens around the summer solstice. So it's a very magical time of year, really, really diving into the divine masculine and connecting with the sun. So it's a beautiful celebration, and then going into fall, we have another harvest type celebration. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm so happy for you and excited for you that you have this place. Why don't you just give everybody the address and hours?
So 5965 North Academy, Suite 203. Hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and then Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 7.
Yep, and there is free parking. Today the parking lot's pretty full. She's getting a really good business in here, so please come on down, share what you've got. If you've heard this and you're an artist or alchemist or writer and you have things you'd like to display in the cafe, connect with Sarah. If you have some beautiful art you want to put on the wall and have a gallery night for yourself. If you play a musical instrument and you want to get some pickers and acoustic players and singers and poetry slammers or mystery tale tellers, just connect with Sarah. And the Essential Wellness Society meetings are held here the third Wednesday of every month.
Fourth Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday.
Wonder I missed it. Fourth Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m. The coffee is Solar Roast. It's local. It's fabulous. Always get a coffee. And there's beautiful cups that you could drink it in, as well as a ton of teas. Lots of teas. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I think that's it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Journey to Wellness podcast, and we will see you next time.